Glad to have you with us tonight on Longhorn Weekly from here at Pluckers, the West Campus location here in Austin. And RT, I'm going to let you have the opportunity to introduce our very special guest.
Okay. We have Max Abmas, Matt, better known as Mad Max. You know, I call him Mad Max all the time. You know, there was a guy named Vernon Maxwell that was a really good player from Florida. Played with the Rockets for a long time. Big time player. And I've just always kind of stuck that with Mad Max, man. Mad Max is here. He's Dallas Jesuit High School. He's a Dallas product, Texas native, and we're super excited and blessed to have him. I mean, when we recruited Max, we recruited him to be the face of this program, and he's come in and he's lived up to the bill.
So, Max, you just heard RT talk about all that, and I think everybody would agree as well. Did you kind of have that expectation for yourself when you came in?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just talking with Coach Terry, you know, going through the recruiting process and just matching up, you know, what we saw for myself, you know, with my last year of college, and what I wanted to do and what he wanted to do. So it lined up perfectly, and, you know, we're working towards that still.
Take everybody a little bit through what the process was like for you, because we know things have changed and they're a lot different in this day and age of the portal as well. But I know you and your family have a lot of pride in being native Texans. You grew up in the Metroplex. You're from Rockwall on that other side of Lake Ray Hubbard, but you went to Jesuit College Prep and then on to Oral Roberts. What was it like in the conversations ultimately that you had with RT and the staff, and the things that kind of led you to thinking Texas might be the best place for you to land at?
Yeah, I mean, like you said at first, I mean, just being a Texas kid, you know, the opportunity to come back home and represent the home state is something that, you know, every kid would want to do. But really just talking with RT from day one, kind of just seeing what the team went through last year, the way they were able to get through adversity and what they were able to accomplish, and then coming into a program, you know, that has a winning tradition. There's an expectation to win here, and, you know, that's what I, you know, expect to do my last year too. And then, you know, everything else aligned too, you know, the roles that Coach wanted me to play, the role I see myself playing, and, you know, I'm just enjoying every part of it.
RT, you mentioned about identifying Max very early as somebody that you thought could really help the program. What were the things that you noticed, other than obviously his shot, but what were the things that you noticed about Max that really appealed to you and the staff?
Well, Max is a winner, big time winner. You know, he was recruited by a guy that I worked with for 9 years here at Texas, Russell Springman. Recruited Max, and I made one phone call and talked to Russ about Max, and he said, RT, it's a no-brainer. He said he is a big-time player. He'll come in Texas and do great things.
Everybody knows about the scoring, and for folks who don't know, you're now looking at the number 12 leading scorer of all time in NCAA history, who is a mere 13 points away from 3,000 career points. And those are mind-popping, mind-boggling numbers. But I know you take a great deal of pride in all elements of the game. You had 9 assists without a turnover in Saturday's win over West Virginia. You tied a season high with 6 rebounds. Your work on the defensive end. What was what you wanted to do and what you felt you needed to do in terms of the totality of your game when you arrived?
Yeah, I mean, coming in, I mean, just for one, you know, coming on my visit and getting a chance to work out and kind of get to experience that a little bit. You know, the player development side was big for me. Kind of just looking at it like a first year being a professional in a way. So really taking that serious and just taking the feedback that I've gotten, you know, over the years about what I need to be better at to improve my chances of, you know, playing at the next level. And one of the big things, you know, as a defensive end, and Coach Terry has done a great job of, you know, pushing me, you know, making me guard and be more of a pest on defense. And, you know, as far as offense, just continuing to play out of pick and rolls, make reads, but really just playing basketball the right way and do whatever I can to help us win.
RT, I know defense has always been right at the top of the list of things you want. When you see a guy who is as prolific a shooter as Max is and was coming into the program, was it going through your mind about he's an incredible offensive player? If I can get him a little more ratcheted up on defense, I'm going to have the complete player I wanted?
Well, you know, again, I always do my homework. You know, he did his homework in the recruiting process. We did ours as well. And we had another guy on our staff that I got a chance to coach for 4 years, and Kim Polino, who got a chance to coach Max for 2 years. And I asked him about the defensive part. He said, not a problem. He said Max can guard when he wants to guard, and he won't have any problem in the Big 12 guarding bigger guards or doing things of that nature there. And he showed that in our first scrimmage. We played Colorado, and those guys didn't even want to bring the ball up against him.
Yeah, and that's something, like I said, talking about taking pride in it. And I know that the shooting and scoring, I would have to think, does mean a lot to you, obviously, with what you've done with it throughout the course of your career. Does it become more meaningful to you, Max, when the other parts of your game are clicking like they have been?
Yeah, definitely. I think that opens up a whole lot. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I can't always control if the shots are falling or not, but I can control that energy and intensity on the defensive end, you know, and so get myself going on that end, and then that just feeds into my offense.
Max Abmas is our special guest. We're going to spend some more time with Max coming up when we continue Longhorn Weekly with Rodney Terry from here at Pluckers, the West Campus location in Austin. We'll continue in a moment. Mitchell trying to spin against Harris. Fadeaway in the lane, missed it. And how about the follow slam for Kendall Weaver?
Boy, he got on an elevator that time, didn't he?
Boy, did he ever.
Wow.
Climb the ladder. Texas back up 14 at 25, 11. 11:20 to go in the half. We welcome you back to Longhorn Weekly with Coach Rodney Terry from here at Pluckers, the West Campus location here in Austin. Now, our special guest during this portion of the program is Max Abmas, but we just had the highlight there, Kendall Weaver. Talk a little bit about Kendall and what he has brought to this group and what he does for the backcourt with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, he does so much. You know, he's a big energy guy. He knows his role, and he's going to go out there and do it. You know, we started him the last few games. But I mean, whether he was coming off the bench or starting, I mean, he's the same person, bringing that defensive energy, you know, crashing the offensive glass. And, I mean, really just that energy, you know, we all feed off of it. And so we see him playing hard, and we all play hard.
I've asked you about this before, that whole chemistry thing in the backcourt and how important it is to have you and Tyrese and now Kendall as well. It looks like the parts are really intermingled and interchangeable.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we understand where everybody on the court likes to play. We understand each other, and that's only gotten better over the year. And so we're continuing to learn and grow and get better each and every day. And you know, with dreams of, you know, achieving our goals of a national championship.
All right, so Max, one of the things that we do in this program is to give Longhorn fans a little bit more of an insight into the guest. In this case, it's you. The most commonly asked question that I've had about you in your time here is not about your shooting, it's not about your shot, it's not about your climbing the ladder of the NCAA all-time career scoring ladder. No, the most commonly asked question about Max Abmas is the spelling of his last name. Now, for folks who don't know, Max, who pronounces his name Abmas, has his last name spelled A-B-M-A-S. So it's A-B. Can you shed a little light on that?
Yeah, I promise it's spelled right.
Yeah, I trust you. I trust you that it's spelled right. That it's the pronunciation that has everybody so intrigued.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of historical background here, isn't there?
Yeah, so it's actually German. The B is silent, and it's called a Schaefer's S in German language. So it makes the Abmas, you know, even though it's A-B.
How many times over the course of 22 years of living have you had to explain that to people?
Too many times.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. Here's something else where we're going to go to. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the adjustment at UT in terms of your academic and social adjustment on it. But we have a question here, and normally we get to the questions a little bit later, but this is a question specifically for you. Where's Quincy? All right, so Quincy's got this question for you, and it goes as follows. For Max, from one math major to another, what was your favorite math class? And by the way, I could never put those words together, favorite and math, in the same sentence anyway. But what about as a math major?
Yeah.
First of all, why a math major?
Yeah, I was originally in biochemistry. Ended up switching out just with scheduling and everything. But what kind of got me down that path was like the forensic side of things. So that math and science side is kind of how I got into it.
Okay, so was there one specific class that was your favorite?
The differential equations was a little different. So I kind of like that one. Kind of a new way of thinking. So I'll go with that one.
differential equations. That worked for you there, Quincy? Okay. And it said, how did you balance being a math major alongside of being an athlete at one of the highest level programs? How challenging is that to balance the academic? That's what I was getting to there, the academic with the basketball, with life in Austin as you transition back down here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough. I mean, but for me, I think kind of starting high school, just going to Jesuit, a college preparatory school. So they really prepared me. As crazy as it sounds, high school is actually harder for me than college was, because in high school I'm learning how to manage time, how to study. So I'm learning all those things at an early age, and once I get to college, I'm just applying those things.
I would also say the mere fact that you were at Jesuit College Prep in Dallas, high-level academic Catholic school, and then at Oral Roberts, I would say that is really also giving you the chance to experience an ecumenical balance we probably have never seen before at that sort of thing, huh?
Right. No, definitely. It was.
As you climb up this list, and I know you haven't talked about it, people bring it up to you, you just passed one of the greatest players of all time in basketball history, Oscar Robertson, for number 12 on the list. Whether you're talking about college, pro, the Big O was one of the greatest of all time. When these names come up and you continue to move past these great names, what kind of meaning does it hold for you?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. I mean, just to kind of know where I come from, being under-recruited and where I am now, I mean, everything I've been able to achieve, I attribute that all to my hard work that I've, put in and continue to put in just to continue to get better. So it's pretty cool hearing that. But I also think that it's just something, once I finish playing, that I'll, appreciate even more, because so much of basketball right now is just, what's next and staying in the moment. So when I finish, I think I'll appreciate it even more.
Yeah, I'm sure. And when you went into the game against West Virginia, everybody knew you were only 6 points away from moving past it. Is it also to the point where that's one of those deals where you want to get it over with, get it out of the way, and get on to the game? Does that go through your mind as you get out on the floor?
It really doesn't. I really don't think about it, until after, when people will tell me, that I passed, Oscar Robertson or, whoever I passed. So I really don't think about it going into the game, and it happens in the game, and, after it's pretty cool to hear about.
All right, so when I tell you that you're 13 points away from going to 3,000 points in your career, is that something that will enter your mind at all on Saturday, or not until after you've already blown past it?
It won't hit my mind on Saturday. Probably after somebody will tell me about it.
Yeah, and I know you guys feel like you had an opportunity, a real shot to beat a great team in Houston when you had the overtime loss. So does it go through the minds of your guys too? Here's another shot we can get at this really good team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just going back and looking at that game, just seeing some key plays that happened that, kind of hurt us, and kind of the areas that we need to be better and try to eliminate those plays. So we're excited to go, play at Houston, top game, top-ranked team, and they'll be excited to play, and we'll be excited to play.
I know that the prioritization is about winning and the team working from it. When your time is done at the University of Texas, and probably folks are going to want you to continue to play basketball, do you see yourself down the road as becoming a great mathematician as well afterwards? Is that going to be the next thing after basketball? Is that life after hoops?
Man, I don't know what's after hoops. I want to keep the basketball going, as long as I can, but definitely have something that I can fall back on and figure out.
There you go. Hey, appreciate you coming by tonight.
Appreciate you, man.
Max Abmas with us tonight. Coming up, more with Coach Terry when we continue Longhorn Weekly from here at Pluckers on the Longhorn Network and the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.